everyone, welcome back to Next Generation. In today's video, we are finally showing you guys how we made our outdoor overhang that's above our workspace.
Yeah, so in our video that we did about a year ago, the backyard idea video, we gave you a little glimpse of our overhang, and since then, y'all have been requesting this video. So today is the day. We're finally bringing it to you guys. We're gonna show you guys how I came up with the idea and how we delivered it and made it all happen. And now we've got this cool overhang in our backyard.
Just a disclaimer, we are not professionals at all.
Not the least bit close.
And the last thing we work with are the materials we're showing you today. So sorry if we call anything the wrong word, but guess what? We've had this for over 6 years now and it's held up perfectly. You guys will see it in this video. It looks just like it did on the first day, except there's some leaves on the top, which you could clean, but we haven't. So this is exactly how it's looked over 6 years. Zero maintenance, zero fixes, no rust, no damage. We're obsessed.
Yeah, we really haven't done anything to it.
Yeah, we haven't. We haven't even cleaned it. The coolest part about this DIY is you need no tools. Well, no power tools, I guess I should say.
And this is totally dependent on the size that you want. You would only need a wrench if you don't need to cut any of the Unistrut. And it comes in different sizes, I believe 8, 10, and 12 feet. In your local hardware store, you can get longer lengths from supply houses if you can have access to those. But 8, 10, and 12 feet, if you're gonna make it an 8x8 or an 8x10, you don't need power tools. You just need a wrench, and we'll show you guys why.
Also, we wouldn't have needed to cut any of ours, but we decided to attach half of the overhang onto our house, which we're gonna show you guys how we did that. But if you're not planning to do that, you just want it freestanding, you won't need to cut any of the pieces. This can obviously be used just like a pergola or something in the center of your backyard if you want. It doesn't have to necessarily come off of the side of your house. So you could definitely get creative. Custom make this, do it all different colors, sizes.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
You could do all different colors.
Hello guys, future us here. Excited to announce that we've officially hit 25,000 subscribers.
Woo! That's awesome. We love you guys.
So to say thank you, we've decided to do a little giveaway. Just a small thank you for all of you guys for following us along and watching our videos and enjoying our nonsense.
Now, we're gonna show you some appreciation for supporting us.
Yes. The first thing, another exciting announcement, we have our brand new logo. How do you guys like it?
Hello.
So for our giveaway, since we've hit 25K, we're gonna be giving one of you guys a $25 Visa gift card, and also another exciting piece of the giveaway. Do you want to announce?
Yes, I do. So we will be throwing in our first Next Generation logo shirt for you guys.
One of one.
Literally, this is 1, 2, and you will be getting the third, but it's the first shipped out off the press. You can choose your own color shirt. I like dark colors personally because I sweat a lot.
So you can choose whatever color you like, men or women style, depending on the winner.
So once we pick our winner, we'll be sending you a message, and you will need to choose your size and the color. I'm sure these guys are wondering, how do I qualify for this giveaway? Why don't you go ahead and
Great question. What you need to do is be subscribed to our channel with the bell notifications turned on, and comment down below on this video what you guys want to see on our channel next. What kind of DIYs or podcast topics, any type of videos or content that you want to see, comment down below and you'll be qualified to win this giveaway or to enter. We're gonna be having the giveaway close on May 22nd. So on that day, when we upload our video, we're gonna announce in that video who the winner is, and we will also message you. Good luck to everyone who enters, and thank you everyone who subscribed to our channel. We really appreciate it. We love filming these videos for you guys, and we're so happy that you guys enjoy them as well, or you seem to. So thank you guys, we love you.
I'm looking forward to y'all's ideas because you guys inspire us. So the more ideas, the more tuned in we are with you guys and what you want to see, and we'll continue to produce that.
Back to the video.
If you noticed in our video a year ago, we have tinted plastic, but super cool thing is you could change it up. You could actually go with completely clear if you want to maybe do a greenhouse, or if you don't want the sun getting in and you want to try to keep like a cool shady area, they do sell non-translucent. I don't even know if it's plastic at that point. I think it switches over to aluminum, which may be even a little bit better if that's what you like. I personally didn't want the rain sound on the aluminum. I wanted it to be a little bit more quiet, so I went with the plastic. And I wanted it to be see-through as well. So I wanted some light to come through, but I didn't necessarily want it to get hot, obviously, because we live in the South. So I got the tinted, I think it's even UV protected. So really cool stuff. It's durable, it's lasted 6 years. I haven't done anything to it. I think the only thing that I may want to do is take it down and pressure wash it. But I don't even think I need to take it down.
You can get the plastic in colors. I know they have like green and tan and red. You can get it to match your house if you have like a brick house like we do. So you can really personalize and customize it. The pieces that we use to actually hold up the structure, you can also paint. Just use some type of exterior paint for that. And you can make it all one nice color. We did none of that, so this is completely raw the way that you're gonna see it. This is how the materials come straight from the hardware store.
You could even just use the structure as an idea, and then you could actually encase the Unistrut with, you could say maybe fence boards, and create an ideal look of like a solid 4x4. It's a good idea. Just saying.
Also, you can use this idea and completely enclose it and make it an enclosed structure.
You can.
So the pieces that we're using on the top to make it an overhang, you can also add to the sides and completely enclose it and make it a shed.
Yeah, it's really cool. So the material that we're using, it allows you to do a lot of different things with it. All right, so with all those ideas in mind, let's take you guys outside so we could show you how we built ours so that you can get your minds running and maybe get out there and build one for your house. If you notice, got this cute little earpiece here. Not really, but basically it's super windy outside. We've got rain coming, so this is the mic setup I have to use because we're in quarantine and we can't get our mic in, and because it's not essential according to Amazon. So we're waiting. All right, so here we are. Today we'll be, I'm gonna already have done that. All right, so here we are. We've got our overhang up because it's already been built. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly how we put ours together so that you can maybe go and build one yourself. First things first, you need Unistrut. Basically, I've built this into sections to continue to extend along the back of the house here. But if you want to just build one section, you would need at least a total of 8 Unistrut pieces, Unistrut bars. We did 10 foot because basically our structural beams were set into the ground. I'll get into that. But we went with 10 foot so that 2 of those feet could be in the ground, leaving us with an 8-foot structure. So that worked out perfect. If you want it taller, they do sell them in 12 foot, so you could get 12 if you like. All right, so for one section of this, like I said, you need 8 Unistrut bars. You need corrugated plastic. They sell this in multiple different styles. We went with the tinted UV protection version, but they do sell it in clear if you want to build maybe like a greenhouse, or they also sell completely solid, similar to like aluminum. So you can't see through it. It completely deflects the sun. So if you're looking for a super shady area, then you could also use that. So one other thing I recommend is, you see these bars that I have here underneath? These are actually conduit bars. So they're used for running electrical wire, but they're aluminum, they don't rust, and they're super solid. So what I actually use these for is support beams. Because the corrugated plastic is really flexible, I recommend using these just in general, because what happened was, before I had these, it worked fine with the wind and everything like that, but when we'd have a really heavy rainstorm, I just have a slight pitch to this, so the water does drain off, but it can't handle multiple inches of rain within 1 hour, so what happened was it collapsed. And this plastic is really solid, so really what happened was it just bent in and all the water was just kind of pouring in. So adding these bars is really helpful. It's not only does it make your corrugated plastic solid, but it prevents it from moving around with any wind. It doesn't bend or collapse in the rain. So I recommend these. Now, if you do notice, some of these are not straight along with the corrugated plastic. They're actually going across. Reason is, I used 1/2-inch conduit. What you really need though is 3/4-inch conduit. I really recommend the conduit. Like I've said 3 or 4 times, it works fantastic. I will probably be switching out the 1/2-inch with 3/4 at some point, so it doesn't look all crazy like this, but it works for now.
6 years ago.
Yeah, we meant to do it 6 years ago. Now we just need brackets. So for our project, what we ended up using was L brackets. So when you go to buy your Unistrut, you can find all the attachments, brackets, bolts, nuts, everything that is associated and meant to be used with the Unistrut will be found right there in that same exact section. The really cool thing that I definitely recommend is using the Unistrut nuts. So you need nuts, bolts, and brackets. The brackets that we used are L brackets. The L brackets come in different lengths. You will need 2 different lengths. I'll get to why when I get into how to put this together, but you will need, it's actually 1.5 inches by 2 inch on the length for the smaller L brackets, and then the longer L brackets are about 3.5 by 4 inch. All right, so that's everything that you need to build this. Let me give you a quick summarization. So if you're gonna build one section, which is just about an 8 foot by 8 foot space, you need 8 10-foot Unistruts, 8 10-foot long corrugated plastic sheets. You need about 10 to 15 conduit pipes. Those can be 8 foot long, nuts, bolts, and L brackets. All right, so first up on building this structure, we need to create some support beams to hold everything up. So what I did was I took my 10 foot, I dug a hole 2 feet in the ground, and I just used your regular concrete. Actually, I used Quikrete because I wanted it to set really fast. So 2 feet into the ground gives you a nice solid structure. So we've actually got just this side in the ground. So on our other side, I'll show you how I attached the Unistrut to the brick. Poured our concrete, made sure this was level. That's very important. Because I had this fence here, just to give it a little extra support, I bolted it to the fence here and on the bottom too. And we've got this solid beam here that I can't move, even if I tried. Quick little tip, guys. Because our corrugated plastic stops at 10 feet, that is going to be the maximum length that we could build, but really you can continue to add on to that. So you can overlap the 10-foot corrugated. You can make this as long as you like. You just are going to continue to add support beams and corrugated plastic. I'll get more into detail on that as we move along in this build here. All right, so we've got our structural beam up. We need another one on the other side. Let me take you over to the other side here because we did this side just a little bit different. We didn't go into the ground, so let's show you how we did that. But if you have a space where you're just going to be putting all the structural beams into the ground, you would repeat the process we did here. So if you don't have a fence or something that you can support, I recommend buying a 12-foot Unistrut beam and digging down 3 to 4 feet to give it additional support into the ground, and this will limit the flexibility at the top here. All right, guys, so we are now on the other side of our beam that we put into the ground. So as you can see, this beam is cut. It doesn't go all the way down. Now, if you don't have any kind of tools to drill into brick or concrete, you could do this side just like we did the other side. You can dig into the ground. I had the tool to drill into the brick, so what I did, as you can see, is I just cut about 1.5 feet here, and I drilled it right into the brick. So now we're ready to put our horizontal ceiling beam, as we can call it, because this is the ceiling structure here at this point. This is where our corrugated plastic will be lying on top, is this beam going across. So next step, after you have your 2 structural beams in the ground, solid, sturdy, and ready to take on the top beam, we'll go ahead and mount this top beam to our structural beam. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna take our L brackets that I told you to get. So these are the 1.5 by 2 inch L brackets. 2 bolts and 2 Unistrut nuts is what you need per corner. I laid the beam on top of our Unistrut here. You're gonna need a partner to hold the other side of the beam. If you've never used a Unistrut bolt, then I can show you how to do that real quick. All right, guys, so I'm gonna show you how to attach an L bracket to the Unistrut. The cool thing is these little nuts have springs, so you can actually pop this in place. So it's one less thing you have to hold. On the bottom of the Unistrut nut, they have these little teeth. What that does is that actually locks into this groove here and it keeps it in place. So you don't have to hold your finger in here to try to keep it from spinning. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in place here. All right, so as you can see, we've got this nut in place. Then what you're gonna do is line up your bracket, stick the bolt through, and then you just screw it in, just like that. And so as you can see, we've got the shorter ones here. I use these longer ones. This is essentially a clamp that holds the top Unistrut down. So we've got ceiling beam, plastic, and then on top, we're gonna have another Unistrut beam going across. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna hold the the corrugated plastic in place. There's no weight to it, so it's not gonna just stay on your unistrut beam. As you can see, I've got one bolt here. Obviously, you need to bolt it to the top as well. All right, so you really don't need the long ones here. This is solid enough to hold up the weight. To cut cost, I used the smaller ones as my support brackets, and I used the longer ones to make it all the way around to hold on to the top beam. So I know I've been a little confusing here, but let me clear things up. So support beam, angle bracket, and they only require 2 bolts and 2 nuts. And then you can see this little contraption here that I built. Like I said, we've got a beam going across horizontally. This is to hold up the corrugated plastic. And then you can see on top, we've got another one. Now that beam holds this plastic from going anywhere, okay? The cool thing is when you use the 3/4 inch conduit, essentially what you're doing is you're creating a tight space so that this can't move. As you notice, I can't pull this out. It doesn't move, okay? It's perfect. So what we've got here to make this contraption is 1 small L bracket, 2 bolts for the small L bracket, and then we've got the long L bracket coming all the way up and around, and you need 2 bolts for that one as well. So for this C contraption, or this C clamp that I made, you need 1 small and 1 large L bracket, and you need 4 nuts and bolts. And that's essentially what you would need to build this on each corner, and then you'll be ready to go ahead and slide in your corrugated plastic. All right, so let's say we've got our structure built now, right? And we're ready to slide in our corrugated plastic. At this point, you would have your structural beams, you'll have your beam underneath, and that's it. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and slide these guys in. And notice I overlap at least 2, most of them are 3 corrugated lips. This will help prevent the water from seeping through. If you've got a nice pitch, the water will drain off with no problem. But if you notice, just do this, okay? Just do the 3 lips, that's it. Now that we've got our corrugated plastic in place, I'm gonna go ahead and slide in my conduit before our final step, which is to lock it in place with our top beam. All right, so at this point, you should know how to secure your support beams into the ground or against a structural surface such as brick. You now know how to run your horizontal beams that'll hold your corrugated plastic, and you know how to use the angle brackets to attach that horizontal beam to your vertical structural beams. We also know how to use our conduit underneath our corrugated plastic, and we know how to clamp our top beam in so that everything stays in place and is solid, doesn't move with any wind or rain. Depending on the length or the size that you want this, I'm going to teach you how to cut the unistrut. You can use a grinding wheel to grind or essentially cut the unistrut. For me, I didn't use the grinding wheel. Creates a lot of sparks, and if I don't have to use the grinding wheel, I'm not going to. So what I used was a Sawzall with a metal tip blade. This is a used metal cutting blade. Notice the difference though. Here is a wood cutting blade. You see the teeth? This will not work on metal, and it's dangerous. So use the right blade. So that's how you can cut your unistrut. Oh, there's actually a third option you have, and this is what I really recommend. I wish I had one when I built this. They have a blade that can cut through the unistrut that you can put on your miter saw. It's a grinding wheel essentially, so it's kind of like using the grinder and the saw together. You could sit your unistrut into your miter saw, safely clamp it in place using the grinding wheel. You can't use your regular wood blade on the unistrut. It'll destroy the blade, and I've never even tried this. I think it's dangerous, but I don't even think it'll cut through. I really don't. Those are your 3 options for cutting the unistrut. The last most important item, oh my God, the last most important thing here, y'all. You don't want this structure to be completely flat. You need it to be angled in some direction, because think, it's gonna rain at some point. Yes, your unistrut is very, very strong and durable, and it can hold up hundreds of pounds, but your plastic can't. So if you build this completely flat, eventually the water's gonna build up and it's gonna collapse in the middle somewhere. I know you're thinking, well, you told us to use the conduit, so it's not gonna collapse. The water's gonna build up and it's gonna collapse somewhere. It's plastic. It'll find its weak points, and you'll have water. Even if it doesn't collapse, you'll have water leaking at some point. In order to avoid a leaking roof or to completely defeat the purpose of your overhang, do yourself a favor. When you build your structure, build one side 2 to 3 inches shorter than the other side. This will create a nice little pitch to your roof. The other thing to keep in mind is choose where you want your water to drain and make that side the smaller side, okay? And we're back. So
how do you guys like it? Do you love it?
Did you build one?
Have you made one yet?
Come on, hurry up. It's pretty relaxing.
So we just wanted to add a few additions that you could add to yours, or a few things that you may have seen while we were showing you ours.
Just added something yesterday. The Unistrut doesn't come with stream lights, I promise.
Yes.
Sorry.
So we added some Tiki Lights to the top of the Unistrut, right in between the bar.
Yeah, and the channel is what
Whatever
it's
it's
called.
called. What's it called?
And the channel. So we streamed it through. I just used zip ties to attach the wire to the Unistrut. It's held up pretty well. It's pretty cool because I turned, what we had was an outdoor light that was actually now hidden by the
overhang.
Yeah, by the overhang. And so what I did was I actually ran that over to the side where it was accessible and created an outdoor plug-in or an outlet. So all the stream lights run into there.
Yep. Look up a video if you want to learn how to do that. We can't show you because we're not electricians and we don't want to get sued if you get electrocuted.
And now the light switch, which used to control the outdoor light, still controls the outdoor light, just in a different way. It turns on the lights, or really turns on the power outlet, which turns on the plugged-in lights. It works great.
Another thing that you may have noticed is we added some little clips to our conduit.
We took shower curtain hooks that fit on a rod, and we actually connected them to the conduit. And when you stream them across, you can actually hang curtains. And it looks great. It's a nice addition. Probably the biggest upgrade to our outdoor enclosure, really, because when you stream them open, it looks really luxurious and nice, but it's not. It's just a psych, but it looks cool.
And guess what? They're not even curtains. They're drop cloths.
Ooh,
so
surprise.
Really tricked everybody. And this is a much more inexpensive way to go instead of buying really large outdoor curtains, which tend to be a little bit more pricey. You can just buy some painter's drop cloths and you can wash them if you would like. It rains so often here that they end up getting kind of moldy. Don't really want moldy drop cloths in my washer machine. Once they get really bad at the end of the season, then we reuse them. We'll paint on those and get some new ones to hang up as curtains. So they're great, and I love that I don't feel as bad when I pull them down and paint on top of them.
Right.
You can even paint them if you would like. So if you want to use some exterior paint, you can use some painter's tape and add like some lines on there, different shapes, and paint it and make it look even better if you don't want it to look plain or like a drop cloth.
Or just tie-dye it.
Yeah, you can tie-dye it too. There you go.
So super cool thing about using Unistrut is the channels allow a lot of different add-ons. So being that Unistrut is very durable and can hold a lot of weight, you could add all sorts of things. So if you made it tall enough, you could add a ceiling fan, you could add lights like we did, you could even add any kind of like little storage spaces that you might need. I built a little wooden storage space for our scrap wood. I had no issues and actually think the wood will give way before the Unistrut. This thing will probably withstand the life of the house itself. Who has entered our patio?
Let's go look.
That's somebody we know too by the knock. Guarantee.
How you doing?
Good, I'm not hugging you.
I'm not hugging you either.
So that's all for our DIY overhang video. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye guys.